Hi friends, it's Deanna here today, and we are here today to sew up another one of our beautiful dresses for the Once Upon a Time capsule princess inspired dresses. Today we're going to be sewing a Rapunzel inspired dress, and now this dress we will be using, for this dress we'll be using the sailor dress pattern, and really we don't really even have that many things that we have to change about it. All we really are doing is we're just adding a little bit of the core to it, if you will. But before I get started, let me remind you of our Fun Fan giveaway of $50 Ellie and my gift certificate. And all you have to do is subscribe to our channel and comment below and let us know what you love about our patterns, what you love about our channel, what you want to see next, just whatever you want to let us know, and you will be entered for that giveaway. And once again, we do that monthly, so you have a monthly chance to win the $50. So go ahead and do that right now. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe right now and comment below. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. Again, we're using the sailor pattern, and that is included in your packet. If you bought the bundle for the Once Upon a Princess bundle. And yeah, so I already have all my fabric cut out, and the first thing we're gonna do, so we've got a liner and an outer. I am going to be using the same fabric for liner and outer, so I'll try to remember to always point out which one's the liner and which one's the outer. So we're gonna do this step to both the liner and the outer. So we're gonna grab our, I'm gonna put this one to the side, I'm gonna show you in a little bit. I'll do that later. I'm gonna grab, this is my back outer, and it's gonna be face up. And then I'm gonna grab my sides. Now my sides were matching up right here at the raw edge at the top where the shoulder meet. And then we're matching, making sure that this side is meeting as well. So we're pinning right here at the top and matching the sides, right sides together. Oh, my scissors. So make sure that they match right sides together. Now this one, oh, I just realized that's not, the right side is not touching. When you're sewing with cotton lycra, the best thing to do is to, if you pull it apart, you can see the line, the grain lines a little bit better when you're looking at the right side than when you're looking at the wrong side. So like the wrong side kind of looks a little bit fuzzy, and that's how it helps you to see if it's a right or wrong side. I was like, that doesn't seem right. And then the other side, where are you? Here it is. And so we're meeting them right sides together right here at the shoulders. So I'm gonna go ahead and sew those shoulders right here at the top. Shoulders are sewn. Now to sew those shoulders, I used my serger, but you can really use any kind of stretch stitch on your sewing machine would work. And again, you're going to do the same thing for your liner as well. So we'll do that for my liner and outer. But I'm going to show you now what I'm going to do to embellish my bodice. Okay, so here's my bodice piece, and the bodice piece is going to get folded in the middle, wrong sides together. I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. I'm folded it in the middle, wrong sides together. And this fold right here, where it's folded, that's going to be your top part. Okay, so what we're going to do is, if you're using HTV, heat transfer vinyl, you can use strips of heat transfer vinyl with the color that you want to use for your bodice, like the corset-like look. You can use, if you want to cut out strips of vinyl. Now, I use vinyl with the Snow White inspired dress, so if you want to kind of go look and see how that vinyl works, you can go look at that one. But I figured we'd go ahead and do something different with this one, so we can see how we can applique something on. So I'm just going to use this beautiful purple lace to kind of do the lace up effect right here on the bodice. So what I'm going to do is, you can either so you can either go ahead and put the HTV vinyl on, you know, the little crisscross lines, go over it, or you can use, like I'm using some kind of lacy or something on it, or you can also use, if you want to use like some other cotton lycra fabric or something and cut out strips, and then we'll just be, all we're going to be doing is sewing them on. So if you can see right here, here's my one strap, and I'm going to go ahead and grab from the other end as well, and we're going to do the other strap. And now I'm not one that's like super precise. So if you are a super precise person, you might want to, you know, kind of figure out like how high you need to place it, where at. I kind of just eyeball it, just look at it and say, that looks good, that looks like a good spot. And then I'm just pinning it where I think it's going to go. So I'm just going and pinning, and then I'm gonna turn. Now if you want to, you can go ahead and clip your lace there or your fabric there. I'm just gonna turn this way and just do it again and pin it. But if you, like I said, if you want to, you can just go ahead and cut it. That way you don't have this little loop right there. And then we're turning again, coming this way. And the reason why I'm looping it like this is because it'd be easier for me to just grab it, like leave it on there. And then later when I sew it, I just sew those edges on there. I don't want it to fray before I sew it on. So that's why I'm just leaving them on there. And then when I sew it onto the bodice, it should be good. I'm making sure that when I'm looping it around so that my lace fabric is still sticking up. So you can still see the flowers on it, because the back is kind of duller, not as nice as the front. And then what I was going to do is, I think I might sew it on and then leave maybe a little bit right here where if they wanted to tie it or something, so you can still have like a tie. But it's up to you, you don't have to do that. Obviously that's just me. I thought it would be a cute effect, so I might do that. Just kind of thinking out loud. Honestly, it's one of those things, you're just, you know, going along with the flow, adding little things here and there. So I am pinning it all down. Now, if you wanted to, you could find the center to it and just make sure that you have it all centered and whatnot. But here is my bodice all pinned together. Okay, so I just kind of pinned it down, and you can actually do that with anything, really. I just think it would look really cute with this lace. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go on my sewing machine, and I'm gonna do with a regular, either a straight stitch, or you can do zigzag stitch, or you can do with your cover stitch. Really, it's up to you how you wanna go ahead and attach that on. I'm gonna try, I was thinking of doing a straight stitch at the edge, both edges, one at one edge and the other one on the other edge. So I might try a little bit of that, and if I don't like how that looks, maybe I'll do one down the middle. I just don't want to run right over the middle of my lace. So really it's up to you, whatever tool, whatever you're using. If you want to do it at the edges, or if you want to do it right down the middle and it kind of ruffles in, either one would work fine. So I'm going to go over to my sewing machine and do that part. All right, so I ran out of my regular thread, so I'm using a serger cone for my color, because it's the one that's the closest to my color for my bodice. So I am putting that pin right there to help me pull my fabric as I'm going along with the stitch, so that it doesn't get stuck as I'm trying to sew it on. I made my stitch a little bit longer. I made it at 3.5 instead of at 2.5, which is what my machine is usually set to, just because I don't want it to be super tight. I just wanted to hold it down and not wrinkle it or anything like that. So I'm going down, and I'm just going around that one edge of the fabric, and you can finish it up however you want to. I did one side, and then I'm gonna do again the other side. I'm gonna show you, and then that way you can see it, and then I'll go ahead and finish the rest. See how at the beginning I just kind of push it a little bit with that pin, just so that it can help me go, and then I just sewing that down. Get to the edge, cut it, then I'm going to show you what it did. So that is how I put it on. So you can see it. You can barely see the stitching right there. And so I'm going to do the same for all of it. You can kind of see it on the back. Got to remove all these extra thread over here. I'll cut all that off. But see, you can see how I sewed it on. So I'm gonna continue to sew this whole thing on so it will be attached to the fabric. All right, so I finished putting that bodice together. All my lace details are on there. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab my bodice, and this is my outer, which it really doesn't really matter if it's your outer or your liner because they're the same color for these purposes. But for your, you know, if you were making the sailor dress right now with different kind of fabric, you want to know that this is the outer. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab my bodice and then put the right side of my bodice right on top of that bodice side, okay? And what we're doing is we're putting the raw edge right at the inside raw edge of the bodice. So as you can see right here is where the armpit goes. So this is the outside. So it's laying right on top of the right sides together on the top of that bodice. And this top part right here, that's the fold. So that's gonna be the top. This is where the raw edges are at the bottom, and that's gonna be the bottom. So we're gonna put it right there. I'm going to fold this little lace in because I kind of wanted it to have like a little tie area. So I'm just gonna leave it right there so I can sew that on. And then I'm gonna grab the liner and I'm gonna place it upside down right on top so that the right side of my liner is touching the wrong side of my middle piece. So I'm essentially making a middle piece, a sandwich. Like I'm making a sandwich with the liner on the outer and the middle piece in the middle. Okay, and I'm gonna show you what that looks like right there. So now I'm gonna go ahead and sew that side together. All right, so as you can see, I opened it up and you can see that I have attached that one side. I basted it on. We didn't sew it on, we basted it on. So now I'm gonna go ahead and open it and turn it right side out. Ooh, that's gonna be so pretty. I love it already. Look how pretty that's looking. Okay, so right side out. Here's my, I almost called it yarn. That's not yarn, my lace. Get my lace out of the way. And here's my, this is my back. This is my right. So what I wanna do is I'm going to grab my right side right here. And this is the inside of my right side. And I'm gonna put it right on top of my bodice, as you can see. And this back, I'm going to put it, see how it is right there? I'm going to put that bodice right on top of that back. So now when I sew it together, it'll be just like so, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and pin that sandwich together. The back is touching the wrong side of the bodice, middle, and by the back I mean the lining. And then the outer, I should call it the outer, not the front or back. That makes more sense, right? The outer is touching the right side of that middle bodice. Just trying to line them up really nicely. This is gonna be so beautiful. I'm so excited about it. So excited about it. So now we're gonna go ahead and also baste these two together, that sandwich. I'm gonna baste that sandwich together. All right, so now I've finished and I basted those two sides. My bodice is looking good, so pretty. And now I'm laying it right side up. As you can see, here's my right side of the bodice, right here, right side of the front. I'm gonna grab my bodice, this is my outer, and I'm going to actually fit it through the neck and turn it. So it's kind of inside out. I'm gonna fold these sides in right sides in where I can see those top stitching, those basting stitches, I'm sorry. And I'm going to match up those raw edges. Here you can see it better. Here's my basting stitches. I'm going to match up those raw edges, right sides together. So here's the shoulders, right sides together. And then keep going around the neck. Since we turned that neck in, now I'm touching the right side of the neck all the way around. Right sides together. It is pouring here right now. Can you hear the rain? I don't know if you can hear it, but it is pouring. I love a good rain. Wash off all the pollen away because allergies have been nonsense. All right, so now you can see I have where I basted together, then all the way around the neckline and up again where I basted together on the other side. So we're gonna go around all that and we're gonna go ahead and sew it together now. We just basted the sides, so now we're gonna go ahead and actually either use a serger or a zigzag stitch to finish up it all together. Now, make sure that these sides are out of the way. You don't want them to come in like this and get cut. So you gotta make sure it's all out of the way as you're sewing all the way around. I just wanted to bring you a little closer to show you how I'm sewing. I'm removing everything kind of out of the way and going around, catching those 3 layers. And I'm gonna go all the way around the whole neck and coming around the other side. Alright, so now I went all the way and around that neckline and everything. So now we can turn it, bring that back out. And you can see that our bodice is basically done. I gotta cut these 2 apart. And hold on, let me cut them apart that way. You can see what my intent was. I don't want it to be super long, so I'm just gonna cut like right around here. And my intent was for it to just be kind of cute, decorative right here, like if they wanted to fold it or something. But if I don't like it, I might just cut that off. I might end up just cutting it off. Okay, so now I've got my bodice is together. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and attach my sleeves. But first, before I do that, I'm going to seam all the way around so that it's nice and straight right here and pretty. And you can go around the whole neck and everything. And it's gonna be so pretty. All right, so now I'm gonna open my arm side. I've got my liner and my outer together right here. I'm gonna grab my sleeve, and the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mark the top edge on my sleeve. So I've got my sleeve folded in half, and I'm gonna go to the top right here and mark it. And that is going to go right onto that seam right here on my sleeve. And I'm gonna go down the side and all the way down to that corner edge. And then I'm gonna do the same towards the other side. All the way down. And I'm going to sew that sleeve on. And I'm gonna do the same for both sleeves. I'm gonna sew that sleeve on the edge. All right, sleeves are on. So now we just go ahead and steam those sleeves. I like to steam my seams as I go. It always, I'm telling you, it always gives it such a better look when you steam those seams. It looks so much more even and just pretty. So we're gonna go ahead and place them right sides together, those 2 sides, and we're gonna sew those sides up. Now that our sleeves are on, we're gonna sew these sides up. Make sure that you're catching all your 4 layers, and you want the right sides together of the inside layers, the outer, and then we're gonna sew down and down, and we're gonna sew both sides as well, and we're almost done. All right, so now once your sides are sewn on, you can go ahead and hem that sleeve. We're almost done. Are you excited? I'm excited. This is such a beautiful dress. And one cool thing, no need for neckband. It already has its own neckband. So you're doing 1/2 inch allowance on your sleeve. You can sew however you want to. We can go ahead and turn this right side out. And while you're hemming your sleeve, you can also go ahead and hem your skirt. How cute is this going to be once it's done? I am already loving it. Rapunzel is one of my favorite princesses, so I love it. We're gonna go ahead, if you want to hem that skirt already, if you want to do a rolled hem, or you can do the 1/2 inch allowance hem where you just steam and pull and hem with a zigzag stitch, a straight stitch, however you want to do it. Straight stitch, the one bad thing about a straight stitch is that if your child was to pull on it, they can tear it, the stitch. But this is a circle skirt, so honestly, I've done it before. But the preferred method is either a rolled hem or a double needle or a zigzag stitch, some kind of stretch stitch on your sewing machine, or your cover stitch, or any of those would work. So you can go ahead and hem that. Let me go ahead and hem my skirt and my sleeve, and then we'll move on to attaching our skirt to our bodice, and we'll be done. Not too bad. Feel like this was such an easy sew, and it's gonna be so beautiful, so worth it. I'm excited. Are you? All right, so now I've got my bodice and I've got my skirt, and my skirt is already hemmed. So now we're gonna find our quarters of our skirt. So we're folded, it's in half right now. It's just regular. And then we can fold it again, find those 2 tips and go over to the middle. And we can find, this is how we can find the front and back right here, and then the middles, or the middles and the front and back. It doesn't really matter, it's just one circle. Okay, and we're gonna do the same for the bodice. We're gonna grab the seams, side seams, match up those side seams, go to the back, and that will be your back. And then go to the front, and that will be our front. And then we can open it up, and we can fit that skirt over our bodice. And we're gonna match right side of my skirt with the right side of our bodice. Now remember, the bodice front is the 2 little, so it's gonna be 3 layers, the 2 layers of the bodice, and then the skirt. Then we're matching that side seam with the mark on the side of the skirt. Then that back seam, we're just matching all those quarter points of the skirt and the bodice. And then we're gonna sew them together, and they're right sides together, the skirt and the bodice, and we'll be done. Are you excited how this is gonna turn out? I am so excited. So when you're sewing, you wanna make sure that you pull it so that the skirt and the bodice the raw edges are touching and they're right sides together, and they're going to be sewn together right there. And that is it. So let me go ahead and sew that skirt to that bodice, and we are done. Yeah. All right, we are done with our Rapunzel dress. How cute is this? Tell me it's not super, super cute. I'm so excited about how it turned out. I love the lace detail. I don't know. Let me know what you're doing. Are you going to go ahead and applique? Are you just doing a heat transfer vinyl? What are you doing? Let me know. I want to know. But I am all done with our dress. Hope you enjoyed it. Please comment, like, share. Come join us on Facebook or Instagram. I want to see your makes, and I want you all to see everybody else's makes because they're so inspiring. And you can see also what everybody else is making, what's coming new with Ellie and Mac. Please come watch our other princess-inspired tutorials. I hope you enjoyed this one. Please let me know if you have any questions. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.